What happens to people with severe mental disabilities after their primary caretaker dies? My brother had a lot of medical issues and my mom was always his guardian. Wasn't expected to come home from the hospital, not expected to have any QOL, etc. He had money in a trust cause the docs screwed up his delivery and mom sued them and mom used it to buy the house across the street. So he would always have somewhere to live if something happens to me. She ended up making me co-guardian, and the understanding was if something happened to her, I would take over. Was something I brought up to serious romantic partners, etc. He's living with me if something happens. I realize it's probably not fair and isn't applicable or doable in all families, but that's how we were set up. He passed a few years ago, so we didn't have it put into motion, but the plan was in place. One of my step-brothers has severe mental illness. He lives in a group home. My parents have set up a special needs trust for him to help out when they are gone. However, his health isn't great, so there is a pretty good chance at least one of them will outlive him. It's sad, but it's reality. It is a tragic shit show. They become wards of the state if there is no family willing to help. Someone who is severely mentally ill likely qualifies for Medicaid and could be assigned a medical case manager if they didn't have a relative who could step up to the plate. Or they could be enrolled in an intensive case management program with a team of providers coordinating their care. If they are not able to manage their money, the public conservator can help them by assigning them a money manager. Source: I work around the people who run these programs in my county. Many different things. Some go on to other family members. Some go to a group home setting, some get on Medicaid and end up in a nursing home. Some end up homeless. Many end up homeless. I would really advocate for the family of any person who cannot care for themselves either due to developmental intellectual disability or mental illness to 1. Seek legal guardianship or power of attorney 2. Find appropriate, good residential placement before it's an emergency. I have seen too many people whose parents die or go to hospital just shuttled off to the first available bed by adult protective services in places the family did not choose. Meanwhile, the person is their own guardian or has no legal representative and can be coerced into signing anything. Most states, if not all in the US, have departments of health, which include services for intellectual and mentally disabled. Families should learn THR systems and find out their options when they have time. All I know is, my dad ended up taking care of his mentally disabled brother. Once my dad had a massive stroke, mom got stuck taking care of both of them. For my sister, my mom has a guardianship for her. The state pays a certain amount of money in disability to her caretaker, my mom. In the event she ended up in a home nursing home or assisted living, that money would go for her care there. But the plan has always been for one of us, her siblings, to take care of her. The plans are all included in my parents' will, but any of us could also go to court and petition for guardianship if necessary. Not always a choice, but how it will work out for us. I'm the youngest, so it's unlikely she'll stay with me, but I would be 100% willing if she came to me. It very much depends on many social circumstances and the state city they live in. This is an excellent question. Thank you for bringing it up. My brother is like this and I'm the last one left to care for him. I hope he dies before I do. I would be heartbroken to lose him, but to lose me and be at the mercy of the world would destroy him. Another family member may take care of them, if they agree to. Otherwise, the individual would become a ward of the state and would most likely be placed in a nursing home type facility. I have a grandson who will need care for the rest of his life. I know his mother worries about this. He hates change, and I hope that when the time comes he will be taken care of and will not be afraid. Many schools systems also have transition services for students, and conversations began in high school or earlier for planning for where a student might live after they age out of the public school system, which can go up to age 22 for students with disabilities. This may be state dependent. Transition coordinators help parents know how to get guardianship before the student turns 18, otherwise the process is much more complex once someone is a legal adult. My parents are setting up a trust for my brother, but he will also be a ward of the state. I will basically have to make sure he has housing and food. They get to live in adult foster care group homes. If the state want fundos and have a group home opening, they often go to nursing homes as wards of the state.